Hello, everyone. Okay. Thank you so much for coming to Louise Gutjahr Celebration of Life. My grandma loved this community here. She's been here with the community for a very long time, and she loved all the different people that she's met through her time here. The time in the choir, and the socials, and all those things. She used to frequent the many social events here at the lodge, and she'd meet and mingle with a lot of different folks there. And she used to be a part of the choir. Thank you so much to the choir for singing her favorite songs for us today. Thank you very much. Can we get another applause for them, please? When she was a part of the choir, she was she was a soprano, right? And she would sing here at the lodge for the folks here, or sometimes at other like assisted living facilities. I particularly remember her going to Dallas a few times. I brought this binder with me today, from this binder that my grandma would try to beckon newer community members to come join her and her friends at the table, helping them to feel more included in the community here. I think this binder was put together about a year ago, and it had many letters that were addressed to my grandma from the choir members, and I'd often read and look through the photos with her in here, and she would remember some of the events in the different pictures. Looking at those old photos and sharing stories about her was one of her favorite things. Her other favorite things included things like watching Judge Judy. She really liked Judge Judy. She loved doing puzzles as well. At this gathering of people who loved her or are here for support, thank you so much for being here. I can think of no better way for us to honor her and maybe, entertain her. She's watching from above. Than for us to share our stories and memories of her. When I first moved here to Scenic Hills, I was mainly here for college and university. I was fresh out of high school and I was lacking, a few important life skills. I didn't know how to drive, or I didn't know how to clean a lot of different things, how to cook. My grandma taught me how to do all those things. I particularly remember how gentle she used to be when teaching me how to drive. She always used lots of positive encouragement, which I really appreciated. She was never one to get angry or disappointed. I always remember her staying positive. At our home, we have this electric organ, and I remember she used to play on it and sing, and you could hear music throughout the entire house. She loved music, and she'd play music on this small radio when she would cook. And she had so many different records and tapes and sheet music. These past couple of years, I've had the most wonderful opportunity of taking care of her the same way that she used to take care of me in her own home. And it was a 24/7 duty that I was glad that I could do for her. I love my grandmother so much. She meant a lot to me. And I know she means a lot to many of you as well. This celebration of her life isn't just for her or for me. It's for all of us. It's a way for us to remember her and honor her. Thank you again for coming to spend this time here. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Tom and I moved in 2018, and the way I learned and met Louise was through the choir. Even though she lives right down the street from us on Fox Run, I met Louise through the choir. And let me first make something straight. It was not me that put the book together. I just kind of did the manual part. All of the choir and her friends helped me put that together. They each had special words and things for Louise. I actually met Trent when we were going through COVID. You know, as Louise aged, she didn't get out as much anymore. And so when COVID hit and we were all so isolated, I was concerned for both she and Trent because, you know, we were all so isolated and couldn't see, we couldn't sing together, we couldn't see one another. So I reached out to Louise, and that's how I met Trent. And so I am so thankful that he loved his grandma so much, and he took such wonderful care of her. And so I thank you that Louise brought him into our community. I would like to read something, an email from Uli. For those of you that remember Uli, she was not able to be here, but she sent an email, which I will forward on to you, Trent, so that you can have it. That would be great. But I loved Louise. She was so sweet. I just never, ever saw a frown on her face. She was like a ray of sunshine. Every time you saw her, I had never heard her get cross with anyone or even a sad face. She was just, like I said, a ray of sunshine. So I'm so thankful that I was able to know Louise while she was here.
I have shared a little bit about Louise, but I have to share one thing with you, especially the last time that we sang together. Louise was driving home with me, so I put her into her driveway, and she was getting out of the car, and I said, "Oh, Louise, I need to keep your book," because we were going to be collecting all the music and everything, and putting them in the file cabinet, and it was like I broke her heart, because I asked for her book, and then I felt, oh no, what have I done? And so I said, well, you can keep it. And she said, no, if everybody's turning them in, I'll turn mine in. And so she did. But that's one thing I regret to this day, that I didn't make her take the book with her. But that's Louise.
Speaking of Uli, when I came here in 2013, when we moved up here, I wanted to join the choir. So I came, and Uli always sat by Louise. And so I was a soprano, and they would go, oh, okay, you can sit right down there. Okay, that's good. Well, when Uli moved a few years later, she moved. And so Louise would look at me when I came in, like, you're sitting in Uli's chair. It was like a church pew that you have saved every Sunday, you know. But she and Uli sang together, I don't know how many years. When did the choir start out here? You remember? Yeah. Well, I came in 2013, so we were singing. 2010. Because Louise had been singing and Uli had been singing, and they were together. I love to sing by Louise because she had a strong, beautiful soprano voice, and she could always carry the tune. So I enjoyed that. I love Louise. One day I said, Louise, you walk so fast everywhere. She was just always, and she said, I've always been that way. I've been lucky. I've been healthy all my life. And I said, that's wonderful, because so many people, you know, we get older, we get kind of decrepit walking. Not Louise, and she was probably 90, in her late 80s then. But she was a great lady. We enjoyed her.
So when I first joined the choir, I had the privilege of sitting next to Louise, and she had the voice of an angel. And I just loved listening to her. And I would try to blend in with her, and I think, maybe I think that's me. No. But we became partners in crime, because I'd be in choir practice and she would tell me jokes. And we'd start laughing or talking, and we'd get in trouble with Shirley. Sorry, Shirley. But I loved her joy. And one day she came and she goes, oh, Becky, you know, I'm doubly blessed. I said, tell me about it. She goes, you know, I've had 2 wonderful husbands. God gave me 2 wonderful husbands. And I said, you are doubly blessed. A lot of people don't even get one good husband. But she brought such joy to the choir, and I miss her, but I've always remembered her angelic voice.
We moved here in '96, and so I knew Louise when she was single. Her husband had died, and she was like the belle of the ball. She came to all the functions, and she would sing. I wasn't in the choir then, my husband was in the choir then, but I got to know her, and we would have different shows. You saw her dressed up like a clown. I guess that must have been at Halloween. But then she married George, and they were like a comedy team almost. The two of them were so much fun, and they participated in a lot of different things. And she would sing at some of those programs, and George would stand up and say, "I get to take her home." After that was when they were married.
Well, I was not only blessed to know Louise from choir, but she and I, for several years, served the cakes at the socials together every month. And I always enjoyed her company. She was just beautiful inside and out, and her smile could light up a room. In my heart, Trent, I know that she is lighting up heaven, and she's singing with the angels.
Well, I'm an outsider. Shirley brought me in to sing alto in the choir about 5 years ago, I guess. And then COVID hit and we all broke up, but
Oh, yeah, more than that.
Yeah.
8, 9, 10,
okay, time flies when you have fun. Anyway, Louise always made me feel welcome. And like you said, her smile lights up me. So we love Louise and glad to be able to honor her today.
My husband George and I moved here, been here 18 years now, and when we came to the first social, we may have known a neighbor or two, but we didn't really know anyone. And we walked in this door over here, and Louise was sitting at a table here, and the table was full. We were looking around for seats, and she said, "Come on over here and sit with us." And I said, "Oh, you have a full table. That's okay, we'll find a seat." She said, "Oh, no." So they all started scooting around, and they got 2 extra chairs, and we sat down. And she and George entertained us the rest of the evening. And when George and I left, we said, "This is really a nice community. Aren't the people nice here?" And then I had the pleasure of also singing with Louise for years in the chorus. And as some of the others have said, I never saw her with a frown on her face. She always had something positive. And she loved her grandson, Trent. I heard a lot about how smart he was. She was always telling me how oh, he was so smart. He knows all about computers. So she was really a joy. And I know he misses her, and we all will.
Louise was someone special to me. Her first name was Louise, and my middle name was Louise, so we had something in common. I think she has a twin in Chicago, or Illinois. Okay. And I remember that. She was so sweet, just one special lady.
I didn't know Louise Trent. I met you the first time when I came and brought the goodies that Christine had me bring after one of our socials. But I just want to thank everybody here for sharing, because I feel like I knew Louise, even though I didn't. I think as musicians, those of us who sing, play the piano or an instrument, there's a special bond that we have. And for all of your memories, it's made me feel like I knew Louise too. Grandmothers are also very special people. All of us, I think, have one that holds our heart even to this day. And I know she'll always be with you. Okay, for those of you that don't know Louise, she sang with us in the choir, and she was part of the community as well. She lived way up in the corner, on Pheasant, yes. Right next to
My neighbors,
Nancy. I'm North and Nancy. Okay. Hi Patty, so good to hear from you, and what a wonderful thing you are doing to help Trent and remember Louise. I wish we could come visit and attend the lunch and sing with the choir, but afraid our travel is limited to doctor's appointments these days. My husband can only sit and stand for a very short time after 2 back surgeries, and I told Trent when he called that I would have enjoyed so very much seeing everyone again. Please tell everyone hello from us. I have such fond memories of singing with Louise and all the other choir members. As I told you before, I always counted on Louise for her lovely first soprano voice to sing those high notes I simply could not reach. Also remember the Still Nacht we sang at Christmas. I found a copy of it when I was unpacking Christmas decor, and I thought of Louise. Lou was a good friend of my mom's, and I think she took me under her wing when Mom passed away in 2013. Also, she gave me an asparagus fern, which I left behind in the backyard on Pheasant when we moved. Also remember visiting with George Gutjahr at the nursing home when the choir would sing at least once every month. Lots of fun memories. Sending hugs to Trent and all the Scenic Hills choir members that I still remember fondly and miss as well.